Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the chapter number 4 in MISS 221, which is about information security. So today our topic is going to be about information security. One of the major challenges that the people face in the information system is to ensure that the data that they have is secure. So now let us start going into this topic in a detailed way. These slides which we have actually shows that this is the reference materials from where these slides are made, and these slides were actually made by Dr. Murtaza Farooq. Now let's start our chapter today. Our chapter today is first on the expectations of the information system. What is actually expected from the information system in terms of its security? There are three things which the end user always needs and expects that these things should be there in the information system. Number one is what? The confidentiality. What is confidentiality? Confidentiality means something which is kept secret and secure. Like for example, if I tell a friend some information and I tell him don't tell it to anyone, he has to keep it with him secretly, confidentially. That means nobody else should know this information. This is called confidentiality. You are working in a company, the company gives you some information. If you are going to share that information which might damage your company, then you are not maintaining confidentiality. Confidentiality means what? You are actually only making the information available to those people who are authorized to view and use it. That is called confidentiality. In an information system, it is called the security triad. You can see here that this is called what? The security triad. In the security triad, what is important is that there are three factors which the end user will look into it, or the people who are using the information system will look into. Number one is called confidentiality. Number two is called integrity, and number three is called availability. Number one is called confidentiality. In the confidentiality, the information or the data should be available only for those who are authorized. For example, if I am account holder in a bank, I should be able to access my data. Anybody who is not related to the bank and who does not want to know the information should not be able to gain access to that information. So that is called confidentiality. The next one is called integrity. What is integrity? For example, I am seeing some information from an information system. The information which I am seeing from the information system should be reflective of the true and accurate data. The data which I am having should be accurate. It should not be altered, and it is not manipulated data. What the data I am seeing is the true and the real picture of the information that is stored in the information system. That means it gives me confidence that whatever I am getting the information from the information system is truly representing the information that is actually stored. That's called integrity. The next one is called availability. What is availability? Availability means the information can be accessed and modified by anyone authorized to do so in an appropriate time frame. For example, the information is available in the information system, stored in the information system. Let us take the example of me as a teacher. I can only assign you the grade during the semester period. Now the semester is over in the month of June. If I want to change your grade, maybe in the month of September, I am not authorized, even though the information can be accessed by me now and modified by me only with an appropriate time frame. That means now you are a student, I am actually assigning you the grades, but these grades once assigned, it is stored into the information system. It is available at any time only when I am a teacher. After I'm not your teacher, I should not be able to access the data, to modify the data, or to manipulate the data. So these are the three important things what are expected from an information system by the user from the information security point of view. I hope this is clear for all of you. Now let's go for the next one. The next one is a definition of the information security. Now I told you the biggest challenge what the people face in using the information system, or why the people are reluctant to use e-services or anything which is available online, is the fear over the security of the data. Information security, system security means what? The security of the information that is stored in the information system. It is the responsibility of an organization. Every organization has a responsibility to ensure what? These three things. Number one, confidentiality. Number one, each organization has this one to ensure that the confidentiality, integrity, and the availability of the information. So, if you are going to say that information security, my information is secured in the information system, what I told in the information security triad just one slide before should be achieved. Number one, confidentiality. Number two, integrity. Number three is what? The availability of information. In order to protect the information and the information system from different types of vulnerabilities and threats. Okay, what are vulnerabilities and what are the dangers which is faced in the system? Vulnerabilities and threats. Let me put it in red color so that you can see it. What is vulnerability? Danger. Danger can be coming to this information system by what? By a viral attack, or it could be what? A threat that will appear to destroy the data, or it could be a hacker, or somebody who actually installs some spyware. Some application which you install can be a spyware to steal your data. So these are called vulnerabilities. Commonly people say hackers. Hackers are a big threat. So vulnerabilities and threats, many vulnerabilities and threats can come into the information system. When you are connected online, you are in a public domain, because internet is a public domain. When you are connected in the internet, that means you are exposed to dangers of your data security. Your data may be stolen, or it can be misused by somebody else, who are normally termed as hackers or intruders, who intrude into your system to steal your data. So we have to ensure that, I told you what is information system security, to ensure that the confidentiality, integrity, and the availability of information. In order to protect the information in the information system from vulnerabilities and threats, now we have to see that confidentiality and integrity and availability, they should have something called an information security policy. I would like to give you an example here of what is an information security policy. See, for example, whenever you are going to have an email account, they specify that the password should be for 8 characters. It should be of a mix of upper character and lower character, numbers, and special character combination. So this is how they have a policy, how a password should be. If you are just going to say that password can be for 5 characters, then it is very easy for a hacker to make a guess of the password and hack it. So that's why if you are going to have any information systems, they have certain rules. This is one of the idea. And also they have installed, some of the policies include installation of the firewall program, which filters unwanted websites access or any other information entering into your network. In addition to that, most of the companies have installed internet security package. For example, in our university we are using Kaspersky security internet security suite, which actually protects our computers from any viral or any intruder or any hacker threat or attack that's happening on our computer. So this is actually called information security policy. That means, policy means what? A document which states very clearly the set of rules and regulations to be followed in order to ensure the information system security. Information system security is what? It ensures 3 things. Number one, the data is confidential, the data is the integrity of the data is maintained, and number 3 is what? It is available. I already explained you these 3 things for you. The organizations can choose a variety of tools. Just now I told about the variety of tools. What are the variety of the tools that we used now? Just I told you now the variety of the tools. The variety of the tools are number 1. You can see here the variety of the tools are number 1 firewall, antivirus program, and also some internet security suite which is available from Kaspersky, Norton Antivirus, McAfee, and many other companies are leaders in providing solutions for information security. I hope this is clear up to this point for every one of you. Now let's go for the next important thing. The next important thing which I am going to explain is about authentication. Let me tell you what is authentication. You are going for examination. You want to go and take an examination in the university. The university has a rule. What is the rule? You should bring your ID card. Why they want your ID card? And they said without ID card we cannot give you the exam. What is the reason for this? The reason is very simple. Like for example, if I am a teacher, I am teaching you, I may know you in the semester. But in the examination time, somebody else can come as proctor to proctor the exam. So that person may not be very sure who are you. So in order to authenticate, you know what is authenticate? In order to verify that this is you who is taking the exam, who is in the name of the card, they will check your photo and they will check your ID number, and they know that yeah, this is the person whom is writing the exam, and this is a photo of the person which is in the ID card. Yeah, he is the same person. They actually authenticate and they say okay, you can sign the paper now, you can write the exam now. So this is called authentication. What is authentication? It is an process in which we actually ensure that the person accessing the information is the one who claims to be that one. Like for example, if I am claiming that I am Muhammad Yusuf and I will be having a username and password for my system. So I will use that username and password which is given to me by the organization, and the username is given by the organization and the password for the first time is given by the organization. Later on they give you a chance to change your password if you want. So password is actually which is very confidential. So never share your password with anyone. So sometimes people I see here telling the password to their friends, to anybody who they know. Even if you are going to the petrol station, you should not tell your credit card number to the person in the petrol station. You are expected to key in your data. This is one of the important things that you have to understand about security. So don't say that information secure system is not secure. If you are revealing your password to somebody, then the bank or any organization will put the blame on the user only, but not on the system, because that's why you can see that every time they put a disclaimer on the website, they send emails to the people, never ever share the password with the people who are known or unknown to you, because if this detail is shared with other one, then there's a high chance that they also can gain access to the data and the information that you have in the system. So in this case, this data is compromised not because of the fault of the information security procedure, but it is because of the negligence, carelessness of the customer or the end user. So now you understand what is authentication. Authentication is nothing but a way by which you make sure, the system makes sure that the authorized person is alone gaining access to the system. That is called authentication. The authentication can be accomplished using 3 different ways. Something they know, something they have, something they are. Let me explain these 3 things to you. Something they know. Everybody has a username and password. And you also sometimes ask additional questions. If you are going to log in from an unknown, so for example, you have registered for an email from Oman. You go to United States and then you try to log in from United States. What actually any email, Yahoo Mail or Gmail will do is that they will ask you additionally, in addition to your password, one security question like what is your favorite color, which country you are coming from. This is what you have actually done when you open the account. So they want to make sure, because they have a doubt, somebody who is always using this email account from Oman suddenly is going to use it from USA. They doubt it could be a hacker. So when they see that the IP address of the computer from where you are accessing the data is different, they will ensure that they will ask an additional question to in order to provide more security for the data. So that is what you have to keep in your mind. The next one is something they have. Something they have is what? Something they have is actually nothing but some smart card. They have some smart cards. What are the smart cards that they have? Like for example, you are having a card, and when you have a card, for example, I will give you an example. What is a smart card? Our bank card or the bank credit card and the debit card are called as smart cards. They are called as smart cards because why they are called smart cards? Because you can see in the card there's a gold yellow color chip. So all the details about you are stored in that chip. So that's why it's called a smart card. For example, you are going to a bank to transfer your account money from your account to another person account, but you are taking a cash. You are taking a cash and you want to deposit the account money into your friend account. When you go to the bank where you don't have the account, I am going and saying that I am so and so, I want to transfer the money. The bank asks you here, give me your bataka. They ask your bataka, they put into the machine, and then after they put into the machine, they have all the details about you from that card. And then what they do, they ask you to actually scan your finger scan by BASMA, because you see this card is issued by whom? ROP, Royal Oman Police. All the information about you are stored inside the card, including the biometric, including the name, many other information. So when you are going to keep your BASMA, it matches with the data which is already stored in the ROP database. Then you are authenticated, and then you can make the transfer of money. You understand the idea? So the card actually authenticates you, and the process can be done. The third one is what? Biometric. See, the biometric means finger scan, iris scan, everything. For example, if you are going to go to some other foreign country, either from Muscat or from Salalah airport, what do you see? There is something called e-gate, where instead of a policeman who is checking the passport, there will be a machine, and you will enter your card, bataka, then you will be, the gate will open, and then you have to go in and scan your finger. And they will not ask you to scan the same finger for everybody. They can ask randomly. For somebody they will ask to keep the thumb, for somebody they will ask to keep the index finger, for somebody they will ask to keep the middle finger. So according to the system, it will generate, use this scanning, use that finger scanning. So they have all the fingers scanned in the ROP. They have all the data stored in the database. It matches with that fingerprint. It is the greatness of Allah's creation that you don't have no two people have the same finger print. So now what happens, if the fingerprint does not match, that means you are not authenticated. You are not the right person who claim that this is Muhammad Yusuf or this is Abdullah who want to access and go out of the country. So the system will not allow you to complete the process, and the police will call you, come, they will check the card again manually in this case. You understand the idea? So these are the three ways by which an information system can allow the user to gain access. First one is username and password. The second one is what? You have some card. Like for example, I wanted to give you another example of the card. Like for example, you see in any supermarket, the cashier makes the bill. Then the cashier makes a mistake in billing. Then they what? They ask the manager. The manager comes with a card. That card, as when he swipes the card, he actually acts as a supervisor. He can make the changes to the bill. But the cashier cannot make any changes to the bill in order to make security for the data that is stored. So the supervisor or the manager has better rights. So he uses a card and that card actually gives him access to modify the data. So this is another example of having a smart card. I hope it's clear for you now. Now let us see this one for you to see. Now look at this one. This is a good example of the first category of the username and password, something that they know. Authentication process done by something which is called something they know, like the username and password, username and password, username and password. Now you can see in the DUSIS or in the DU Moodle, you can actually see that you can try to do what? You can try to do very simple. You can try to do the first thing is you can try to see that one. You can try to see that there is a username and password over there. There is a username and password in that one, so it is very easy for you. Is that clear for everybody? The next one is something that they have. Something that they have. What is that? I already told you. What is that? Something that they have is what? Something that they have is what? They have the smart card. Smart card, if they have, it is like I am having a smart card because I'm an employee or I'm an authorized person. I put the scan on it. It identifies, it authenticates the information. But there is a danger with that one. If you give the card to somebody else, then that person also can get an access in this one. So you should never share this card or password which are confidential with anyone. The next one is what? Something they are. The example is what? Biometric security. Biometric security. What is biometric security? You can see that people have fingerprint, facial recognition, retinal scanning, voice recognition. There are 4 biometrics which are commonly used. Like I go and scan my finger in a basma, that's one thing. There is something like image recognition or facial recognition. Your face is recognized by the sensor, and then the face match is done. If it is same, then you are gaining access. The iris or retina scan, because the retina is different for different people. So iris or retina scan is actually scanned and stored in the database. It matches with the person who is trying to enter into it. If there is a match, he will gain access. If there is no match, he cannot gain access. The last one is voice recognition. See, everybody has a different voice. Vocal cord of the people are using different, producing different type of sound. So what happens? The sound is actually stored into the database, and when you talk, the system identifies your voice pattern, and if it finds the same pattern, then it will allow you to authenticate. In all these 3 methods, the common used one is the username and password. Also, the rarely used one is this one, but it is more secure because your fingerprint means you have to physically go there. Your facial recognition means what? The person who is claiming should actually be physically able to be present in order to do that one. And the same goes for retinal scanning and for voice recognition. So today we have seen number 1, to sum up the class today, we have seen number 1, what is information security. What are the 3 important characters the people would like to see from the information security point of view? Confidentiality, integrity, and the last one is availability. And we have seen about what is information security policy. I gave an example of a username and password, how it should be defined, and I talked about information security policy defines the rules and regulations that are to be set in any organization to secure the data so that the data is confidential, it is having integrity, and it is available. Also, I explained you about the different types of tools like the firewall, the internet security packages which are available from many companies to protect your data. This I explained you already. Then I told you then we talked about authentication process. In the authentication process, I explained you what is authentication. It is to authorize the person who claims to be someone to only gain access. I want to verify that that is the person who is gaining access. I don't want anyone to gain access into my system's information. There are 3 common methods used in order to do this one. The first one is something they know, which is using username and password. Same in the case of our one, which is commonly used. And also I told you an example of an email usage. If you are using it in another country, they will ask for additional questions in addition to username and password. These are done during the registration time, and they can ask additional question if they find something wrong. They suspect some hacker is trying to hack your system. It often happens with Gmail account. Gmail account you can try to open from different location. It will ask you to send. It will send a OTP, one-time password, to your telephone or mobile number which you have given during the time of registration. Once you authenticate that number, then only you will be gained access. The next one is something that they have. I told you using a card. I gave an example of, like for example, if the cashier wants to make any change in the bill, the cashier doesn't have the right. So he or she has to call the manager who has a card, and that card actually authenticates that he has the right. Okay, because why they are using the card, I tell you. The managers change on shift. If you are going to keep one person's username and password, or one person is going to have this one, then the username and password is shared. So that's why they give the card to all the managers when they are in duty, and anything that happens during their duty time, during their time, they are responsible for any problem that happened during that time. So that's why they are using card, because many people are trying to authenticate. That's why in any supermarket there may be 2 or 3 shifts people are working, so they are using the smart cards. The last one I told you is about the biometric. There are 4 types of biometrics which are commonly used. Number 1 is fingerprint, number 2 is facial recognition, number 3 is retinal scanning, and the 4th one is voice recognition. I hope with this we complete our class for today. In the next class, let's discuss a little bit more on access control, multi-factor authentication, and we will also discuss on other issues related to the information security. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.